Deuce Knight went wild in his debut as Auburn's starter, but did the young man do enough to move up the QB depth chart for the Iron Bowl?
This is the Weekend Tailgate, brought to you by Golden's Cast Iron. C-Dub, Ike Joe, Be Will, Mike G. You are now listening to
Weekend Tailgate, brought to you by our friends at Golden's Cast Iron. Visit goldenscastiron.com/WR. Use code Get Your Weight Up for 15% off your weights and code TWR for $65 off fire pits and Kamado grills. The summer may be over, but the fall brings great weather. It's a great time to be outside by Golden's Cast Iron Grill or staying in shape with some Golden's Cast Iron weights. Work out, grill out, chill out with Golden's Cast Iron. I want to thank our friends at the Rogue Shop. Visit rogueshop.com. Use code REPORT to get 15% off your Rogue Shop order. Pain, sleep, stress, anxiety, whatever ails you in life, the Rogue Shop has something that has you covered. If you've got some traditional ailments that could require some non-traditional remedies, well, the Rogue Shop could be the place for you. Our guy Richard is a longtime sponsor of the show, dropping a little something extra in there for everybody using code REPORT today. We appreciate him for sponsoring the segment. I want to thank our friends at the Vibe Vault. You can find them at 3462 Crosswinds Road, Sweet E in Phoenix City, Alabama. If you're in the Columbus, Phoenix City area and you're looking to get fresh for the weekend, the Vibe Vault is the spot for you. Book now. Thanksgiving is here. People are traveling. The barbershop is going to be packed Monday through Wednesday. You don't want to be out here without a fresh line for the weekend for Thanksgiving. So make sure you outshine that uncle, that crazy uncle at Thanksgiving dinner by getting your good line up here at the Vibe Vault. We appreciate them for sponsoring us. I want to thank our friends at Abel's Iron Own More and Associates. That's AMA. You don't need a big balance to get big advice at Abel's Iron Own More and Associates. There's no minimum to start your initial portfolio review. It's completely complimentary. Whether you're just starting to invest, a do-it-yourself investor, or in the final stages of planning for retirement, AMA's fiduciary advisors will meet you where you are. No sales pitch, no pressure, just honest guidance. Call AMA at 912-777-4128. Scan the QR code on your screen or visit AIMAINC.com. It costs nothing and could change everything. The War Report has been compensated by Abel's Iron Own More and Associates for this endorsement. Abel's Iron Own More and Associates is a SEC-registered investment advisor. Registration as an investment advisor does not imply a certain level of skill or training. Join as a member, guys. Sign-ups have been prolific. We need to continue to grow our green name. Gang, we had a great time with the watch party yesterday. I stayed home because I was a little under the weather, but C-Dub and I found a way to make it work. Watching the game with you guys, that was member only. That's member only business. So for the Iron Bowl, if you want to watch the game along with us, we saved a lot of y'all when YouTube TV wasn't there for you. I just want to throw that out there. So our Green Name Gang, we appreciate them for sponsoring our channel in this way. These are like micro sponsorships when you sign up. $5.99 a month may not be a lot to you, but it's the world to us when enough of you guys sign up. So we appreciate you guys for doing that. Check us out on podcast, all the podcast platforms. We are there with the Auburn Express, Uptempo, College Loop, Justice Sick, and the War Report Gaming channel, bringing you lots of great audio-only content. We are burning up the podcast charts. We want to continue to climb. Please go over to your favorite podcast platform, subscribe, turn on automatic downloads, and make sure you don't miss a second. We ask you guys to do a lot of things, of all the things that you do for the channel. Just listen. Yeah, that's it. I know that was a mouthful, but that's it. It's time to get into the show. I'm going to bring in Ike Jones, C-Dub, talk a little Auburn football. Guys, it's Sunday. Deuce Knight was the story of yesterday for Auburn. The top 50 overall recruit went out in his first start and burned it up. It looked a little rough to start. Ike, you were there. You got to see it. For those of you who don't know what the press box is like during a game, lots of collective and audible groans and moans when things are not going well. I did want to ask you, I didn't get a chance to ask you yesterday, what was the mood in the press box from the other media about Deuce Knight once he started getting it going, or even before he threw a pass there? They didn't let him throw a pass for the first couple drives.
Yeah, I mean, he actually, the first play was designed to be a pass. He just took off running. But I think everybody was just kind of collectively like, so this is the guy that's been sitting on the bench, huh? Oh, okay. Oh, right. Oh, he did it again, huh? Oh, okay. Oh, he's completing okay.
I'm dying.
So why has he not been playing at
Yeah.
all? No,
because we're close. That's why. Ike.
Literally the funniest comment though, and golly, I can't remember. Oh, Dan Peck. Dan Peck had the best comment in the booth by far. And he said when the defense started struggling, he was like, Hugh Freeze must have been what was holding this defense together the entire time. I was like, that's pretty genius. I like that right there. And he did a whole Scooby-Doo mask reveal. He was like, he's like, it was me the entire time calling the defense.
Oh, Dan.
But yeah, man. It was, I think everybody collectively was just kind of like, okay, so when he said the future, he wasn't lying. It should have been the now.
Yeah. That's great. I mean, Caesar and I were watching it, and we were frustrated at the start. I was frustrated at the start. I can't even put that juju on Caesar. I was crashing out at the start. But like you said, you astutely pointed out, the first play was designed to be a pass, and he decided to run it for 75-yard touchdown. Yeah, which, I ain't gonna be mad at that. But he ended up doing a lot of running yesterday, which is the question that I want to start today's show with when we talk about his performance. Were you surprised? Were you guys surprised at how much he ran yesterday? Chat, jump in here. Were you guys surprised? I'm telling you, I was surprised at his athleticism. I knew he was athletic, but I didn't know he had breakaway top end speed like that once he got going. I mean, once he got behind the defenders, they weren't catching him. That surprised me. Yeah, I knew the young man could move. I thought maybe he could pick up, 10, 12 yards here or there if he got loose on the scramble, but I did not see him as a take it to the house 75 yards out kind of running quarterback.
We talk about like not comparing people to Cam Newton, and I'm not saying that a Cam Newton comparison is coming, but we have a point of reference when we see people who that size who can move away from defenders so easily, it seems, right?
Easily.
And I know it's Mercer, but again, he has it. Whatever it is, he has it, and then some. Mike, it wasn't even like he was just escaping the pocket just to escape the pocket. He made wise decisions when he escaped the pocket. Eyes still down the field. The long bomb to Malcolm Simmons. He escaped the pocket, but still looking downfield. And when nothing was there, then he would take off. And so just knowing when to run, Mike, is what was impressive. And it just seems like when you have a guy like that, for all of the issues that Auburn has had in the red zone under Hugh Freeze, and you have that type of weapon who can either throw it to Cam Coleman, another amazing catch in the red zone. And then you have Deuce Knight. Then you have Deuce Knight who can just take off. Like, there should be no red zone woes when you have talent like that on your roster.
That's a fact. That's a bar.
This kid is really good. Like, he is a true dual threat, and he's special. That's the word I used yesterday for him.
Speaking of no red zone woes, Auburn 4-4 when they got in the red zone, but there was a lot of scoring outside the red zone, which is why, they were scoring from they dropped 62 in this one. I know
just a one-play drive. That's all.
Yeah. There's a couple of one-play drives.
Couple of one-play drives. Yeah.
Auburn only ran 56 plays in a game. Listen, they scored more points than they ran plays. I can't. That is an upside down stat. They scored 62 points and only ran 56 plays. They scored a point per play. Come on, man. More than a point per play. It was pretty fun to watch yesterday. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, it's Mercer. And people are going to go to social media and they're going to say, oh, but you guys are getting up. You do this all the time and you get excited because it's only Mercer.
No, I'm not accepting that this time. Okay, I'm not accepting that this time, not because of what happened, but because of the proliferation of you guys better watch out for Mercer. I don't even think Auburn's going to beat Mercer. Mercer's a really good team. Don't sleep on them. If you were one of those people who were out leading the Auburn better not sleep on Mercer parade, I don't want to hear it's just Mercer after the game.
Yep.
You can't do both. You can't tell me Mercer's dangerous and they've got this amazing offense that Auburn better watch out for, and telling me all the statistics of how, you know, their defense is shutting down the run and they're not just your typical FC. You can't do that and then come and tell me it's just Mercer.
Yeah.
You got to pick which one of the either they're this FCS powerhouse and Auburn should watch out because they're a pathetic P4 team, or it's just Mercer. Which of those two camps do you want to be in?
Pick a lane.
You don't get to look at the results and be like, well, it's Mercer. You should have done it. No.
You
told me before the game.
Or Deuce isn't ready because he didn't look all that great against Ball State.
There's a bunch of people who were telling me Mississippi quarterbacks, they don't do anything good, and Deuce Knight's not worth anything. If he was that good, he'd have been playing before. You don't get to do both.
I blocked that clown.
You don't get both. You get one or the other. Either he was impressive or he was supposed to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Either he was impressive or he was supposed. Like, which one of these two camps do you want to be in? You can't tell me how terrible he is and well, anybody would have looked. No. Stick with whatever you say it.
The problem with a lot of these people is they pigeonhole themselves into these hole of takes. And
I'm fine with it. Just own up to it. I was wrong. Simple, you know what? I got that one wrong.
But that's my point, though. You pigeon yourself into these takes, pigeonhole yourself into these takes, and then when you're wrong, you can't admit you're wrong because you went too far down that rabbit hole. So now all we're going to hear for the rest of Deuce's time is just wait until he has a bad game so they can say, I told you so. I told you and all that. And I don't, like I said, I'm happy for the young man, and I hope more people are celebrating his performance yesterday than are criticizing. There's a Twitter account called CFB Home or something. They were one of those accounts that were posting up the upset score, and it was like, what are these? I mean, it's at least Pat McAfee he's got his face out there for his foolishness, you know. But it's a lot of anonymous accounts just hiding their face and then making these ridiculous takes. And it was like, no, you should have to say who you are when you say dumb stuff like this. There was a 0% chance that Auburn, like, how did you watch Auburn versus Vanderbilt and then think that they were going to lose to Mercer? I don't get it. I don't understand how you equated those two things. This offense looked drastically and markedly different. The only way Auburn was going to lose this game is if the offense reverted to Kentucky form and didn't score a touchdown. They would have had to score no touchdowns to lose this game.
I think people are just looking at box scores, Mike, because if you're paying attention to what Auburn looks like post Hugh Freeze, seeing people flourish in this offense in ways that we have not seen in 2.5 seasons, something's different. And I think it's a sign that Auburn's offense has awakened, and it's a threat.
Yeah, it definitely is a threat. Moving on now, again, this was Deuce's first start. So last week we heard DJ Durkin come to the microphone and say that they decided as a staff that Cam Coleman was one of the best players in the country and they just needed to get him the ball. Guys, yesterday Cam he did have the most targets on the team. He had 8 targets. He caught 5 of them for 65 yards and another amazing TD, kind of in the same like echelon of that catch that he made versus Vanderbilt where he didn't even see the ball. Like it's crazy how he continues to do that as long as you give him the opportunities to do so. On those catches, man, it's crazy. The catches are so amazing. I can't even say for sure how good the throws are or aren't. I just know they're giving him a chance to catch it, and he's catching it. Malcolm Simmons was second on the team in targets with 7 targets. He had a career day, 5 catches for 149 yards and a touchdown. Quiet day for Eric Singleton, 5 targets, but he caught 4 of them for 27 yards. The only other person with more than 2 targets was Preston Howard. So it was primarily Singleton, Coleman, and Simmons that dominated the targets for Deuce Knight. the previous week versus Vanderbilt, Ashton Daniels spread the ball around a lot more and to a lot of different receivers. He is the presumed return starter for the Iron Bowl. I want to be clear on my stance here, and I want to pose the question to you guys. I love what Deuce did versus Mercer. I do. There's no world where I'm rolling him out there as the starter for the Iron Bowl. I'm not doing that. But I do think that he did enough to be QB2. And I want to add that in the little amount of time that we saw Jackson Arnold, I think Jackson Arnold contributed to the Deuce Knight should be QB2 conversation with what he did when he went in the game. Auburn had not given up a sack until Jackson Arnold came in the game. And it kind of goes back to that old habits are kind of hard to break thing. I've made excuses for Jackson all season. And the sack looked like all the other ones he took, even against the better teams. Hold on to the ball too long, step up in the pocket too late, make a decision too late, and take a sack. Now, the biggest difference I see between Deuce and Ashton and Jackson is that both of those guys seem to be keeping their eyes down the field and looking for opportunities and going through their progressions and making decisions to run when it's appropriate. Jackson seems to be either predetermining that he's going to run or making the decision way too late, and then the play's a mess and it's a fire drill for everybody.
Yeah.
Are you guys seeing the same thing I'm seeing? I mean,
so,
that's what I'm seeing.
So here's the thing. If I wanted to nitpick coaching decisions yesterday, if I wanted to nitpick, because it didn't cost Auburn the game, this decision, but this need to force Jackson Arnold into the game when the offense was humming and Deuce
it was a little weird rhythm to put him in there and take him right back out the next
forced. It was forced,
and
they realized let's just keep it with Deuce.
They pulled it back out. Yeah.
Yeah, that was, I think, the most confusing thing for me. Is like they put him in for a series and then they took him right back. I was like,
my bad.
Why did we just do this? I didn't get it.
Yeah,
my bad, Deuce.
Yeah,
go back out there.
I want you to keep going on this one because again, you didn't get the post game, so like we only got your thoughts for like 5 minutes. But when he came in, I was like, all right, we're done with Deuce. And then Deuce came back in, and I was equally as shocked at that because the flow of the third quarter was weird, man. Mercer gets the ball to open the third quarter, and Auburn doesn't see the ball offensively until, because isn't that the Melendez pick six, right? Yeah.
At the end of the second quarter.
Was it the end of the second quarter?
Which one are we talking about?
Auburn scored.
No. It was
before the offense took the field.
It wasn't the third quarter, I think.
Yeah, it was the third quarter. The Melendez pick six was the third quarter, right? Yeah. And they didn't get the ball offensively until like the 8 or 7 minute mark in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Deuce has a 1-play drive where he throws the bomb to Malcolm Simmons. Caesar and I were sitting here right before, I swear to God, right before saying the only thing we haven't seen from Deuce is a bomb, a connect on a bomb. And then right on cue, bam, Malcolm Simmons to the house. I caught you in my highlight clip. You're 6'6". It was funny. But then they pull Deuce out of the game. And I'm like, all right, man, but he didn't get to run the offense in the second half. I know it's a blowout, but are we really going there? I thought we would give this young man until the end of the third quarter and then maybe bring Jackson in if it was going this way. Jackson comes in, again, sack, whatever he does, and then they go back to Deuce essentially to close out the game. We did see Jackson Arnold run a touchdown in from like over 50 yards out. That was fun. I love that for him. But as I mentioned at the top of this discussion, I think he contributed to the Deuce Knight should be QB2 conversation yesterday in a way that he played in a manner that I don't know, man. I don't think you could definitively say that he's better than Deuce even right now. And that's not a knock to Jackson Arnold. I think that that's how good Deuce is, but because I still think that there is a world where Jackson Arnold can work on the things that he has to work on and be a really good quarterback at this level. But we have to deal where we are right now in reality, and I think that Deuce may be a better quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, the offense looked drastically different. Like, it wasn't even just the QB position. It's just the flow of the offense changed dramatically once Jackson Arnold got into the game. To me, that's what I'm looking at, is how does the team respond when there's a change of QB? And not only did we see how special and dynamic Deuce was, right, but just the fact that the offense was like, I think, wasn't it when Jackson Arnold came in and threw a pass to Cam Coleman? One of the easiest routine catches we've seen Cam Coleman make.
And then suddenly he drops it.
Yeah, like he makes acrobatic catches look easy, and he drops a routine. Like the flow of the offense just changes. Not that that's Jackson's fault. It's just you just got to kind of read the room and say, I think we know who gets this offense going versus who kind of doesn't.
Fault might be a bad word, but the flow and the chemistry doesn't seem to be there. I've been saying this since Oklahoma, when Cam was dropping passes and people were like, you got to catch those. And I do agree with them. But there's something, to me, there's always been something deeper there, where when Freeze was here and Jackson was the quarterback and the opportunities were there for Cam to make some plays that I've seen him make harder catches routinely in high school, in spring practice and under this system that they brought in, he's dropping these passes. And I was like, I don't think it's a talent issue. It's not a talent issue. He was the 5th best player, depending on what service you look at, coming out of high school. Those are your can't miss kids, man.
Yeah.
No way we're sitting here. And before he came to Auburn, I don't know if you guys remember it, I said, if Cam Coleman busts, it's not a Cam Coleman issue. I'm telling you, if we've seen too much, this is on Auburn. He doesn't become the player, I'm 99% sure it's an Auburn issue. So you start changing some things around him, and he looks like that all-world guy again.
Yeah.
He's going to get an NIL deal well north of $2 million, whether it's Auburn or somebody else this offseason. Everybody else can see it. I'm at least glad, the other question that has been raised to us and continues to be raised is, should John Cohen have pulled the plug on this earlier? Now, if you follow the channel, we reported that the wheels on this started turning after Missouri. They didn't get it done until Kentucky, but it was after not just the loss to Kentucky, but the manner in which they lost, not scoring a single touchdown, losing a game 10-3, that you had undeniable validation in making the decision at that point. I'm not sure they felt like they thought they had it after Missouri, or they would have got it done and just dealt with the legal stuff later. Kentucky, not only was it an embarrassing loss, but it also took a lot of things off the table for you, because there was quietly still inside that athletic department the idea that Auburn could win their last 5 somehow, finish with 8 wins, and then you would still have that. It would still be a little palatable to say, okay, well, we still did better than we did last year by 3 games, and
you got screwed out of a couple of games.
So let's run it back and let's see what they can do, and then we'll make some changes to the staff. We're going to force changes to the staff in the offseason. You lost to Kentucky, all that came off the table. Now you're faced with, you've got to get an earth-shattering upset to just make a bowl game. So it changed the math, and they had to do it. But was there really a chance to do this earlier than Kentucky? In you guys' mind? Now, you won. You beat Arkansas. Remember, the losses to Missouri and Kentucky, there was a win sandwiched in there against Arkansas. But it still didn't look great. You kicked 6 field goals in that game, right? 6. in a game that you won by like 11 or something. I don't remember the exact scores of the game off the top of my head, but it was 35-24. I think it was the final score. Versus one of the worst defenses in the league. Arkansas was terrible. I think maybe you could have salvaged the season if you had pulled the plug after Missouri. But would that have been reasonable? And would have given Hugh Freeze maybe ammo to say, no, they never really gave me a chance this season. Because I got screwed versus Oklahoma. I got screwed versus Georgia. Refs literally got fired and suspended from those games. And then they pulled the plug on me after one of the toughest stretches we had all season. No excuses versus A&M as far as I'm concerned. That was 16-10. That was a game Auburn should have won. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah. Right?
I mean, what's the question? Should they have gotten rid of Hugh Freeze earlier? Yes.
Yeah. Was there an opportunity to pull the plug earlier, really?
I mean, they had plenty of opportunities. I understand the decision not to, and I understand the position that John Cohen was in. You just laid out all the reasons why it didn't happen before it did. But in retrospect, yes, you do look back and say we could have possibly salvaged this season had it happened earlier if the offense was going to look like this. Now, do you know for sure that it would have? No. Do you have a whole lot of indications that it likely would have? Absolutely. Because let's be clear. I know it was only Mercer. Ratings-wise, as far as defensive ratings are concerned, Auburn has played tougher defenses and looked better. Vanderbilt is a higher-rated defense than both Arkansas and Kentucky. Mercer, for what it's worth, if you look at PFF ratings, I get what competition they were playing, better rated defense than both Kentucky and Arkansas. So if after the Missouri game, you pivot and go in a different direction, you won the Arkansas game, but could the Kentucky game have gone differently? Possibly.
100%.
Honestly, if we're keeping it a buck, if we just gonna keep it a whole stack or whatever, the minute Jackson Arnold lost that fumble in the Georgia game, that should have probably been his last snap. He has not been the same quarterback since then.
Ooh.
If we're talking about retrospectively looking back at things that probably should have changed, he should have been done then. He probably should not have touched the field versus Missouri. He played well on the first drive. This team needed something to shake things up because it was clear it wasn't moving in a different direction. And Coach Hugh Freeze refused to be the person to shake that up. So you got to go, brother.
And I think
if you're not going to make the change, Georgia. We got to change you.
You should have fired him after Georgia. I think you do that. You have Georgia the way you had them, and you lose that game and the way you lost it, Georgia.
When you look at the level of play, maybe not as good physically, because Jackson Arnold supremely talented physically. When you look at the level of playmaking that is happening at the quarterback position right now, getting rid of the football and not taking sacks, still being able to make plays with your feet, being able to make quick decisions with the football to avoid having pressure be a problem so that you can continue to run the foot. You can't tell me that Jackson Arnold should have still been the quarterback, man. I'm sorry. And I get it. Play calling did not help Jackson Arnold a solitary bit. This is not absolving the play calling. This is saying some people just are gamers, bro. When they get in there, they just got a feel for it. You watch the same Mercer team that is setting all kind of crazy situations as far as pressure rates and sacks, try to get pressure on Deuce Knight, and he just kind of slip around it. Just smooth in the pocket, getting out of there, knowing when to go, still growing through his reads and his progressions. He wasn't getting rid of the ball quick like Ashton Daniels was. He was sitting back in the pocket, analyze one side. Nope, not there. Let me get back to my second read. Oh, there's the defender right there. Let me sidestep that and get up out of here. Some people just have a little different feel for the game, man. And it's not something you can explain. It's not something you can see in practice with a non-contact jersey. When they get out there, it just feels different, bro. You needed someone to make a play and you had 2 playmakers sitting on the bench, and you decided, nah, I'm gonna ride with this dude, you needed to go, brother.
Yeah. I want, before we get to the break, I want to pose one more question, because on the other side of the break, we're going to deal with your comments and super chats. We see them coming in, guys. Keep the super chats coming. We dedicate a portion of the show to address super chats. And if you keep super chatting, sometimes the whole second half of the show is number of super chats. So we hope that's the case. But the question that I want to deal with here is, was the main problem that he decided too early that Jackson Arnold was going to be his guy and could not change that initial bias he had when he brought him in? He declared him the starter before he even practiced here, before he had a workout at Auburn. And then you ran a spring where Ashton wasn't here, and it seemed like everybody had already relegated Deuce to that secondary role. Now, what did we hear all spring? Deuce was not the project that they thought he was. He played a lot better than they thought he was going to play. And I think we saw flashes of that in the 8A game. Now, he did make some mistakes with the football, and I would say he played a really good game versus Mercer, but there were a couple passes that might be turnovers that they'll have to clean up on tape. He trusts his arm a lot, I would say, trying to force the ball into tight windows.
Most
he had one
that do, Mike.
Yeah, he threw one to Malcolm that was behind him. You know, and if he hits him in stride, it's another big gain. It's hard to nitpick a performance where a quarterback was 75% completion percentage, but really that could have been 80 had he hit a couple passes that were off the mark or tucked it and run on a couple that he shouldn't have thrown. I just wonder if the issue that Freeze had was he develops a bias and then is unable to move away from that bias to consider, maybe I was wrong and there is a better guy to do this. Now, I'm thinking about how Damari Alston's situation was handled. And, Damari took a lot of heat from a lot of people, but I just wonder if he saw what we're seeing now and said, you know what, this dude is never going to move off his biases. Ever. When Michael Riley left, and I don't think he would mind me sharing this, like, to me, it was clear how they saw him. He decided to come back another year. I think he wasted a year here because they were never going, whatever biases they had, and I'll keep this part of the conversation private, but the things they were telling him about why he wasn't playing, they didn't make sense to me. They didn't make sense to him. And I told him, these are the types of things that they tell you when they know you're talented and they want to keep you around as a backup plan, but they have no plans on starting you. He sees it now, but there's not a dude on this roster right now at tight end better than Michael Riley.
Not well, Mike. You made mention of it. Some things that Hugh Freeze says about Damari Alston when he first got here.
He said that he was a better back than they gave him credit for, but that's both a compliment and it shows that they had some preconceived notion that he wasn't that good before they got here.
Absolutely, or that they couldn't use him.
That's it. And then it was maybe like a tepid, he's a little better than we thought he was. So Damari said, instead of me sitting around waiting on you to change your mind, go ahead, redshirt, bro. Because you only have a limited amount of time to make your mark in college football, and I don't want to waste the whole year eligibility. People called him a quitter. Okay, well, you can label it whatever you want. Was it a smart decision on his part, though? And when should I sacrifice what's best for me just so everybody else can say I'm a team player? Time is the only thing you can't get back in this life, man. Once it's gone, it's gone. How many guys committed to Auburn and blew time they didn't have? This was my gripe with how he was talking about players in year one after these losses and talking about recruiting. Repeatedly, people called me names. They said, you hate Hugh Freeze. And for all you hate Hugh Freeze people, Hugh Freeze sat down with the War Report one-on-one more than any other media outlet. So for a guy who hated him, he sure didn't stop him from sitting down with us. he wasn't buying what they were saying. But like, you know, when we had our talk earlier this week, one of the things I said to him was like, look, it's regrettable, coach, that we can't always say the thing that you want us to say because we have to tell the truth to our listeners. But I appreciate that you did not let some of these things stop you from sitting down with us. Hugh Freeze, the coach, and Hugh Freeze, how he was to us professionally, I completely separate those two people. He was wonderful to us professionally as Auburn's head coach. And it's probably what John saw in him when he hired him. However, I think when we sit down for this one-on-one, one of the biggest things that I have for him, questions I have for him is, do you think that your inability to be able to let go of the preconceived biases that you had played a role in your stagnant offense? Because clearly they found something after you. And look, man, this is going to be a real raw, hard conversation where it's like, hey, man, like your girl dumped you and she upgraded. She dumped you and she upgraded. And she got with the dude that got money and is like nice and good with kids and perfect teeth and muscles and shit. And you trying to get the glow up now. I mean, I don't know. That's my question to you guys. Do you guys think that played the biggest role in his downfall? I keep coming back to that.
I'm just laughing at what you just said. That was real specific.
I mean, are we answering that after the break or are we doing it?
Right, no, before the break. I wanted to get that before the break because we got lots of supers to get to.
I don't think he had a choice. Like, the way you got Jackson Arnold in the door was to give him assurances, and you'd look
very great point. Yeah,
you look like you were a liar if you did otherwise. So, yes, he probably held on to that promise a little too long, but I don't think he had if Jackson Arnold was the guy that you wanted to be here, that's the way that you get him there, is to make him the assurances that, hey, you're not. He just left a situation where he was going to have to compete to be the quarterback. So, like, why would he come here and compete to be the quarterback? It's like, no, we're going to give you this money and you're going to be our guy. Same thing happened with Payton.
Yeah. It was a perfect setup for it because your QB room turned over. Like, the guys who were in the room the prior year left. Jackson Arnold comes in, first guy through the door. Your other guy's a true freshman. Why not give the job to a guy with SEC experience? I think no one really fought Hugh Freeze on that, especially with Ashton Daniels coming in the summer. Jackson Arnold had a head start on everybody, seemingly. And it just seems as though, to Ike's point, once you begin to really see that, hey, I don't think this kid has it the way we need him to have it, and you continue to double down. One of the things you talked about with Malzahn is that he hitched his success to Bo.
Yeah, he did.
And that's what Hugh did here with Jackson Arnold, is he rested his hopes and dreams on not Ashton Daniels, but Jackson Arnold turning the corner. And he couldn't quite get it done. And it became his undoing.
I agree. Look, let's get to the break here. And when we come back, we're going to deal with your comments. They are flying in. We got over 1,000 of you guys live here joining us on the Weekend Tailgate, brought to you by our friends at Golden's Cast Iron. So we appreciate everybody for jumping in here with us. Do us a favor, guys. Share this video on social media at the War Report, hashtag get your weight up, and like and subscribe on the channel, man. We are so close to 16,000 subscribers. We just need, I think, as I checked this morning, I think we need like 60 more. I know there are 60 people watching this right now who aren't subscribed to the channel, especially if you're watching on Twitter. So do us a favor. If you're on Twitter right now, come on over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button for us. It helps us a ton. Like us on X and Instagram, as I mentioned, TW Report on TikTok. Guys, YouTube has a new feature called the hype button. It's right down there in there with the super thanks. You can hype this video to help boost our exposure on YouTube. YouTube recommendations is one of the best ways to get your content out there, but it needs your engagement. So we need your engagement. Smash that hype button. Use those hype points. I promise you they're sitting down there and you probably don't even know you have them. Use them on our channel. Let's pay some bills. And when we come back, we're going to get to your comments and talk a little bit more Auburn football.
This edition of the War Report is brought to you by our generous sponsors. Golden's Cast Iron. Whether you work out, grill out, or chill out, you deserve the best life possible, and Golden's Cast Iron is here to provide the tools to help you do it. Check them out at goldenscastiron.com.
The Rage Room. The Rage Room is a place where anger and stress find their ultimate release. Set up a session today at one of the 2 great locations in Opelika or Birmingham by visiting opelikaRageRoom.com or BirminghamRageRoom.com.
This episode of the War Report is brought to you by our friends at Golden's Cast Iron. Visit goldenscastiron.com/WR. Use the codes on your screen to get your Golden's Cast Iron products today. Work out, grill out, and chill out with Golden's Cast Iron. Guys, I want to thank our friends at the Rogue Shop. Visit rogueshop.com. Use code report to get 15% off your Rogue Shop order. Pain, sleep, stress, anxiety, whatever ails you in life, the Rogue Shop has something that has you covered. Our guy, Richard, is a longtime sponsor of the show. Drop a little something extra in there for everybody using code report today. We super appreciate him for sponsoring this segment. So again, head on over there right now and make sure you take advantage of your Rogue Shop discounts. They got some real cool products over there. They also have candles and other things that are kind of neat trinkets that I feel like you guys would be interested in. Rogueshop.com today to get your products. I want to thank our friends at Sky Tobacco and Vape. Ever run out of vape juice at 10 p.m. and think, well, I guess I'm just going to suffer? Well, not with Sky Tobacco and Vape. These guys have more locations than the Waffle House, Columbus, Phoenix City. They're everywhere, whether you're on the thruway, the bypass, or just lost with bad directions. Sky Tobacco and Vape is probably 10 feet away. They've got vapes, tobaccos, and deals so good, you'll swear they misprinted the price tags. Sky Tobacco and Vape, good vibes, great deals, and zero judgment if you walk in wearing pajama pants. Guys, check us out on podcasts, all the podcast platforms. We are there bringing you lots of great audio-only content. Head on over to your favorite podcast platform and subscribe to the War Report today. If there's an option, turn on automatic downloads. And you know what? Spotify is actually doing video now. So if you want to watch these our Auburn Express videos on Spotify, you can do that as well too. We get paid wherever you watch, so just watch where you want to watch. We appreciate everybody for supporting us on audio. Guys, our Green Name Gang is growing. We want to continue to grow it, so hit that join button. $5.99 a month will get you there. Our patrons they're enjoying a lot of great perks, especially here at the end of the season as the coaching search and the staff stuff continues to develop. You will get a ton of content from us. We've been ahead of a lot of the news here at the War Report as concerning the coaching staff, Hugh Freeze, everything. We're going to continue to be ahead of it, and we want our patrons to benefit the most from that information. So sign up as a patron. I promise you it's worth it. Ike also does film reviews and special chats, office hours, call-in shows, things that are patron only. You want to get in on this. It's one of the best communities out there for Auburn on the interwebs. Appreciate all the hard work Ike does, giving you guys patron-only content. C-Dub and I are going to get on that this offseason. Let's jump back into our conversation. Fellas, we got lots of comments here that we need to get to, so we're going to get to them. As always, we start with the Super Chats. Exclusive TV says, we need a member-only call-in show if possible. We have a member-only call-in show, don't we?
Yeah, office hours.
Yeah. I do call-in shows during office hours, yes.
Yes, so
that is specifically actually patron only, not just members. So you have to be patron level.
So exclusive TV, if you have the other one, just hit that upgrade button. We appreciate that. The Can Lay. I would love to know how to pronounce this. For Caesar and I tried to say it like 50 times yesterday. The more I rewatch Deuce Knight, the more questions about Hugh Freeze and no words. I know it was Mercer, but there was more there than just the competition. We got to keep these guys. I think you can draw inferences from yesterday. Personally, I don't care that it was Mercer. It was a young man, and people drew inferences from Ball State. When he didn't play well, why can't we just say, hey, look, man, he looked like he should have looked, which is a good sign that he is possibly the guy they thought he was when they brought him here. John of Beham 1 became a member. We appreciate you for joining the Green Name Gang. BLS 2772 joined as a member. We appreciate you there. NH3425 with the $9 super chat. As impressive as Deuce was, I still wanted to see more passing from him, as I wanted him to get established as a passer, just like he was running the ball, War Damn Eagle. He threw the ball 20 times in this game. Do you think maybe he should have thrown it more than 20? I thought that beside those first couple drives, but as Ike pointed out, The first play they called for him was a pass. He took off running.
Right.
I don't know. I think 20 throws was pretty good for the amount of time that he played. They only ran 56 plays.
Yeah, you got to keep that in mind too. Like they were explosive. Like there were 2 one-play drives.
Yeah.
And Mercer won the time of possession by like 10 plus minutes.
Did they really?
Game. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Oh, hell, you're right. 37, 15 minutes.
All for a while.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
They held the ball for 37 minutes in this game.
So yeah, I mean, yes, I would have liked to have seen it too, but it worked out the way that it did, and he did really well with the opportunities. 20 passes to your point, Mike,
per minute.
But I think once he got going, he was more accurate. He was throwing dots. I think we'll see. He did fine. He did.
Yeah,
fine.
that's a throw per minute. That's nuts. Right. Some context there for you, NH3425. Down for the Durkinator. Can't help but believe that Freeze's performance was willful, if not malicious incompetence. Willful or malicious incompetence. Weaponized incompetence. Like, you think he was willfully incompetent?
It's hard to watch the Kentucky game and not feel as if you were watching someone who's actively sabotaging things. That's difficult for me to say. When I watch that film back, I'm like, he's not trying today. He might not be sabotaging it, but he sure ain't trying to fix it.
That's a rough watch of film, by the way.
Yeah. Again, I go back to his post-game press conference statements of why he pulled Ashton Daniels and put Jackson Arnold back in. And he said of the guy who's taken more sacks than any quarterback in collegiate football this year, he's a little more mobile and able and elusive in the pocket. You sure about
that? Sure about that?
I can't understand that. I can't understand that.
It's rough. It is rough. NH3425 says, any update health-wise on Falk or Cobb? I don't have any updates. Do you guys have any updates on Falk or Cobb? I know that it looked like a wrist or hand thing for Keldrick.
I don't know what he was grabbing at. First, I thought he was holding his shoulder in a weird way, and one time I thought he was holding his side. I was just like, bro, what is going on?
Yeah, it sucks when guys get hurt in a game like this. But
it didn't seem serious though. Because he was on the sideline, like I think he had his pads off, but he was just kind of chilling with the team and whatnot. It didn't seem serious, but
okay. Let's see here. NH3425 says t-shirt idea, night vision. Wardham Eagle. All right. I'm sure we will find that one in the merch store here pretty soon. Ike whips all that stuff up. Night vision. I like that. Or Knight Rider. Take y'all back. Y'all remember that show, Knight Rider?
Oh yeah, of course. It was my childhood.
Mercy 2425 says Ryan Williams fall off needs to be studied. Glad we didn't get him, and Bama's offense is regressing as well. Ryan Williams, that I said this, and then again, Bama fans lost their minds where I was like, look, Cam Coleman is just as good, if not a better receiver than Ryan Williams. And they went nuts on me. And look, lo and behold, one guy now with a few more opportunities is making all the circus catches that Ryan Williams was making last year. And they're getting him the ball, but he looks he's a really good receiver. I think he's a really good receiver. I just didn't think he was that much better than Cam Coleman like they were trying to, say he was. Charles Allen joins as a member. We appreciate you, Charles. I'm a little surprised that you weren't already a member, but
I think he has been one in the past.
Okay, it's weird, but usually they bring you back. They tell you they keep track of that time. That's what I was told by the members. Cedric Lacey, if we missed the super chat, throw something back in there, man. Sometimes it's easy to hit that send button before you actually put the chat in. So if we missed your comment, we apologize. NH3425 says, do we at least set plays for Deuce Knight next week? This is hard for me. This is a hard one because you don't want to, if your offense is going I'm not a big fan of the whole QB switcheroo thing. Just like I didn't like it when they put Jackson Arnold in when they did, just to pull him out. I'm not a huge proponent of this. What does he do so much better than Ashton Daniels that you do that right now? You know,
yeah.
What does he do so much better than Ashton Daniels that you would need to do this right now?
I mean, this is why I felt so comfortable saying that Deuce is QB2, because in the back of my mind, the hope is that you don't need to play Deuce because Ashton Daniels is running the offense the way you want him to, right? It's easy to say that because you know who QB1 is and you expect him to continue to show and prove why he's QB1. So you would like to see that from even if it's a gamesmanship type of thing, but you know at the end of in the back of your mind, you rested Ashton Daniels for this purpose only, for him to be able to play in the Iron Bowl and pick up where he left off in Nashville against Vandy.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Yeah, we'll see what they do there. AK Hughes Sports Media. This is my guy, Andrew Hughes. I think he was with Fly War Eagle. I don't know if he's with Fly War Eagle anymore. Andrew, shout us out in the comments. Let us know if you're still with Fly War Eagle, because
I don't think it's the same person.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it is. I don't know. I said before the season started that if this team doesn't succeed 100% on coaching, too much talent to be this bad. I would agree with that statement. It's a lot of talent. Forever Bankroll says, how do you all feel about LSU and Florida getting Lane, considering we play them next year, and why are they set on paying $90 million to someone who's never won a championship game? I have said this about Lane Kiffin. It seemed like this was the year where finally he was going to get over that hump. Now they lost to Georgia, but and don't get me wrong, go look at their schedule. It is Charmin baby 3-ply soft. They got one of the easiest schedules in the SEC for sure. But in the year that you're finally going to bust through that glass ceiling, he may bounce on his team before they get there. A lot of people were asking me if the mystery third candidate, we had reported that Auburn was looking at Durkin, Summerall, and a third candidate that I have still been unable to verify that they're looking at. And people kept saying it's Lane. I hope it's not Lane. I don't care how good a play caller he is. I don't want Lane Kiffin. I don't want Lane Kiffin at this point. Look what he's doing to these
because
kids.
of the drama.
Yeah. Look what he's doing to these kids. What program is going to be good enough for Lane? Now, maybe he thought USC and Tennessee he left Tennessee for USC, right? He got fired from USC.
Yeah, he left Tennessee for USC.
He left Tennessee for USC.
Yeah.
He got fired from USC, but Tennessee wasn't good enough. I don't know, man. Chat, you can tell me how you feel about Lane. I'm not a big Lane guy. At some point, integrity has to matter as well, too. And is Auburn going to be another stepping stone for him to something else? Would he bail on our guys? You know, and I'll take you back to the national championship game where he got fired before a national championship game for looking at other jobs. I don't know, Caesar.
What do you think is worse, if he stays or if he leaves? Given that he's dangling this decision like a carrot stick, and he's waiting to after the Egg Bowl to make a decision on what he's going to do. If he decides to stay at Ole Miss or if he leaves, which is worse?
I want to clear this up because the way it's being reported, to me, it's not clear. Some people have said they've given him until after the Egg Bowl, and other people said they're giving him until the Egg Bowl to make up his mind about what he's doing. Meaning, like, by the time the game gets here, you need to decide whether you're in or out. But we're not basing this based on the outcome of the Egg Bowl.
So my question is, with that, if he doesn't give them a decision, are they going to fire him?
That's what it sounded like to me in what I read. But a lot of people
don't think Ole Miss brass got them kind of stones. I don't think they got them kind of stones.
Yeah. I was like, whoa, for real? He's their primary play caller, is he not?
Yeah.
I think Charlie Weiss is taking over play calling there. Charlie Weiss Jr. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they got them kind of stones, bro.
You think you're gonna call that bluff, Ike?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Let me see you do it. I bet you won't.
I really don't care. To answer this question, I don't really care. I don't care where he goes, if he goes to LSU or Florida. I mean, when he was at Ole Miss, we had him on the schedule. I just don't care.
You know, I think there's a sentiment and feeling that he may even bolt for the NFL, if not this year, in coming years.
I don't get it. I don't understand the Lane Kiffin thing anymore. Darius Lee 655. Our safeties will be the key to beating Bama. They have to be better with their eye discipline. I think the whole secondary, man, is kind of like under scrutiny right now. A little disappointing. I thought they would be
a rough year for them.
Yeah, you know.
How do you guys feel about Sylvester being out for the first half? I mean, it doesn't help. Like, what are y'all's thoughts on that?
He got the targeting call.
I mean, I think it hurts the rotation, right? Like they already are down Champ Anthony in that room. So, depth and rotation is going to be hurt. He's definitely, he's played better this season, specifically in his ability to go and tackle. But it's not like he was just, I think Champ Anthony not being there hurts more than Sylvester does, but you already knew Champ wasn't going to be there. So, like I said, for me, it's really more about a rotational depth thing than anything else.
I agree with Ike. 100% on that. The Can Lay gifted 5 War Report memberships. Guys, check your email. You could be on the receiving end of one of these War Report memberships. So you don't have a green name. It could be a membership waiting on you. NH3425 says Deuce Bigelow football gigolo. Okay. Decided to read that one. Phil Will 60 says they said he was going to the golf course and didn't even play, just to watch. There was an article that came out that said Hugh Freeze would just go out there to watch golf. Now, I've addressed this and I've told you, it's a question I have for him when we sit down. I don't know if Hugh Freeze was as obsessed with the game of football anymore to the level that you would need to be to succeed in the SEC. If you got time to go out there and do that, maybe just meet with your QBs. Cedric Lacey 8776 again. Don't know what happened to the chat there, brother, but if you got chats, you got to make sure you get the words in there before you hit send. Kazanave 26. It is a limited game time, but Ashton Daniels and Deuce Knight and the O looks similar. It looks is different with Jackson Arnold. Logically, aren't similar. QB 1 and 2 preferred. I just think the offense. I think that these guys run the offense. They make different decisions. It felt like they were trying to manage Deuce Knight to start the game a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, when they figured out that they couldn't just run, and then throw it over the top, they will have to let him throw. They did, and he stepped up to the challenge. I love my favorite part of Deuce Knight yesterday was him out of the pocket with the ball up like this, keeping his eyes downfield, looking for receivers. And then sometimes he would take off at the last minute when nothing was there. And then at the last second, sometimes he'd find a guy over the middle.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I had so much fun watching him do that.
Yeah.
Ant Robinson, member for 34 months. Did you hear about the UK boosters comments? UK boosters?
Fill us in.
Fill us in here. Yeah, we need the tea on that one, Ant. Charles Allen, Ole Miss is still broken ugly. Agreed.
That is a factual statement.
That's a comment.
I mean, you are who you are, is all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? You broken ugly, you just gonna be broken. You can fix the broke part. You're gonna always be ugly, even if you get it. Your soul will be ugly, even if you fix the exterior.
Interesting.
And in your soul. You got the heart of a broke dude too. You feel me? Like your heart is broken and your soul is ugly. You might put a little exterior work on all of that. You're still broken, ugly to your core. Sorry,
man, you can't be heartbroken and ugly. That's just depression.
Yeah.
listen.
Black Wigo says, efforts on Jackson Arnold, loved it. That boy got speed. AH? I don't know. What did you mean there? Maybe it might have been a typo. Might have been a typo there. I hate when I don't know what y'all.
efforts on Jackson Arnold moved it. That boy got speed.
Loved it. That boy got speed. Okay. I guess he was complimenting Jackson Arnold.
Alvin Henderson. He's talking about Alvin Henderson going to block on the Jackson Arnold.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Alvin Henderson.
We haven't seen that one used a lot because he hasn't been out there. So it took me a minute to process.
Did Alvin have a carry yesterday? He didn't have a carry yesterday.
He didn't have a carry, but he was on it. He probably was going to get a carry on that drive, but Jackson Arnold took off and scored.
We got asked yesterday a bunch if we saw Alvin Henderson in this game. I wanted to see Alvin. I really wanted to see him.
I didn't think we were, but I was happy to see him.
Yeah, I wanted to see him carry the ball in this one. Unfortunate that he did not carry the ball in this one. Haven't seen this one this way. Calvin Peterson gifted a single membership, maybe. Usually it shows up different.
Yeah, it's like
I don't think you did that right, brother. But thank you for
yes, I think you tried to gift a membership. But send a super chat.
Yeah.
Old man Shredder. If he was willing to go and just watch other people golf, why was he so resistant to just showing up on Saturdays and watching Nick run the offense? Wow. This is a 10-star comment. Whoa. That comment blew my mind. Just show up and watch.
I mean, watch it every Saturday now.
Yeah, this was the question that we had was it just as simple as him letting the people he hired do the jobs that their title said they were entitled to do?
Yeah.
Because I have serious questions. Like, here's the thing about this which will be probably my last interview with Hugh Freeze. It's going to be my fifth and my last. But the question that I think I have is, let's get down to the brass tacks of the play calling situation. I know what you told us in the post games and the pre games and the weeklies about this person having input, but players have told me that it's Hugh who was calling plays. And it was pretty clear that if Derek Nix was calling plays, he wasn't even calling a majority of them. So could you have just let him? Why couldn't he just call plays?
Yeah.
Why did you feel like you needed to have your hand on that thing? Understanding all the other things that you had to do. Did you not trust him? Or is it not a him thing? And do you only trust yourself when it comes to that? I've managed people, man, and I'm telling you, life is really hard when you have subordinates that you cannot delegate and trust. Because I'm almost like, if I got to do it myself, what do I need you for? Tiger Boy became a member. We appreciate you coming on over. Guys, if you're on Twitter, do us a favor. Head on over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button. Become a member. Chess Rockwell says, K and Lee regressing or just had a few bad games? This is a question for Ike. What do you think about K and Lee, man? What's going on, my boy?
So K and Lee always kind of had a little bit of a propensity to get cooked in one-on-one situations. I think the issue is, I think they're leaving him on an island too often right now. Specifically in these last couple of games, they've been playing a lot more man and they're just not getting a good enough pass rush with just 4 or 5. And I think that's the bigger issue that Auburn is having right now, is that when you can't rush with 4, then you leave those DBs on an island too much. And because, as you guys have already said, the safeties are struggling, teams are just putting 4 and 5 receivers into the thing. And it's, all right, pick your poison. If you can sort through it quickly enough, somebody's going to be open. So I think Auburn needs to figure its pass rush issues out, and the DBs will get helped a lot more.
We're gonna do a Facebook comment because he's a first-time commenter. David Wayne, we appreciate you for tuning in on Facebook. Do us a favor, brother. Come on over to YouTube, man. Get that YouTube account popping. Who is the next head coach? David, if you have not been watching us right now, it looks like John Summerall is in the lead for the job. But John Cohen has developed multiple contingencies because I'm telling you, Lane Kiffin was all but a done deal, and then it fell apart in the 11th hour, and I think that's how we ended up with Hugh Freeze. You won't be able to convince me otherwise. That's how we ended up with Hugh Freeze. This time around, he's got more time to plan and get ready, and I think that he's got a good situation set up for whatever situation Auburn ends up in, which is why I don't think Lane is an option. He's playing too many games, and if you are John Cohen, if you're not 150% sure that that's your guy, you're not playing this game with Lane this go round. You're just not doing it. You got to go after coaches are going to follow through on the commitments and don't have 6 or 7 different pulls in different directions. Calvin Peterson figured it out. That's that gifted membership he was trying to give. We appreciate that. You. AUTK says that YouTube is messing with the screen names on all the live chats. What's this?
Yeah, it's making it people's @handles rather than people used to be able to choose their screen name, and it's not letting them just choose whatever they want. But I think that is a lot due to the fact that people were choosing offensive screen names and they couldn't remove them. So it's the propensity of people to go and change their name to something offensive. And they're doing a lot more live chat stuff. And they're just like, oh, you guys are putting really offensive stuff up on your screen that we can't block out. So blame yourselves, people who don't know how to use screen names effectively.
All right. Thank you for explaining
maliciously.
Patrick Manley says, am I the only one concerned about the Zebras calling the game straight up Saturday, especially if the game is tight late? Maybe I just have OU UGA PTSD. Well, it won't be the UGA crew because them dudes got fired. OU, there were some suspensions handed out. I'm not really that worried about officiating Saturday, honestly. I don't think I am.
You're not the only one, Patrick.
I feel this, but I don't know how.
You're not the only one.
Ant Robinson says, in a nutshell, if he wants the AD fired, Summerall hired, and $1 million donation to UK football, I think he has backing just to first to make a statement. He wants the AD fired, so he wants his AD gone. He wants Summerall hired, and then he wants a $1 million donation to UK football. Interesting. There's a lot of demands, but he wants Summerall as his next coach. I hate to break it to him, but if Auburn wants Summerall, Summerall's going to Auburn. He's not going to Kentucky. I hate to say it. And Summerall really wants to be at Auburn. But if you put those two things up next to each other, I cannot see John Summerall being like, ooh, Kentucky. Basketball school. I want to go there. No, probably not. Cedric Lacey, member for 17 months, says, try Jackson Arnold at tight end. A lot of QBs made that change.
He will leave before that happens.
Yeah, he's going to go play someplace else. J. Count Door 7476. I have to admit that when the defense was not focused and playing out of position, I truly felt like they were going to dig a hole that would have been hard to dig out of. Very disappointed in the defense's play early. Fortunately, they did not give up a single point in the second half of that game. They didn't give up a lot of yards either. I think just maybe over 100 yards given up in the second half. So they got it together, but the almost 250 yards given up in the first half was no bueno. Mercer was trending for 500 yards of offense on Auburn's defense, and then they locked it down. So I was happy to see that for sure. They ended up with 338 yards of total offense. As I mentioned, in the third quarter, they had 63 yards, and in the fourth quarter, they had 50 yards. So only 113 yards of offense from Mercer in the second half. That's more like it. But 151 yards in the first quarter and 74 in the second, whew, rough. It really was about that bad first quarter.
Yeah.
They went 5 of 5 on third down. They averaged almost 7 yards a play. And then after that 5 of 5 on thirds in the first, Mercer only converted 3 third downs, 3 out of 14 the rest of the game. So after the first quarter, they really locked it down.
They start getting after the QB2.
Yeah, look, I mean, I was surprised that they didn't sack that dude more.
But then I think they had made a stat after the first sack. It was like their third sack all year or something like that. They get like some
they don't give up a lot of sacks.
Insane stat.
I mean, it's just Mercer, so they're supposed to have gotten the sacks they got. It's just Mercer.
Yeah, only 3 sacks
don't matter. They're only not good when Auburn beats them, because before the game, Auburn's not going to cover and possibly lose the game depending on who you ask. But it's just Mercer when they win. It's just
facts. Moving down the list here, we got another super chat. I think Exclusive TV says put Jackson Arnold at running back. He runs like one.
But can he catch the ball and pass block? If he can't do those two things, he probably can't be a running back.
That's fact.
He's got wheels for sure, but more than being able to run well than being a running back.
And he will leave before that happens.
Yeah, he'll be long gone out of here before that happens. I think that's it for super chats right now. Oh wait, no. So Auburn has got Bama. Bama is up next. We're going to preview the game all week. We're going to talk to a lot of Bama folks this week. I'm certain we've gotten a lot of invites to talk about. Tom Sawyer over on Twitter says, "Do you have any updates on the coaching search?" Nothing that we haven't already reported. Tom. Some or all, it feels like, in everybody else at this point. And if you missed our reporting, Buster, I keep calling him Brent. Buster Faulkner.
You keep confusing him with Brent Key.
Yeah. They got the B's over there. Buster Faulkner has been targeted as a potential OC for all the candidates that are in the running. And they like him and they want to bring him in, and we'll see what Auburn decides to do there. But the question that has been asked, and that takes me into our close the show talking about Derek Nix, man. Now we've seen it for 2 games. Are you a little disappointed that Derek Nix isn't getting more consideration to stay on as OC, given what we've seen he's done with these quarterbacks and how they're thriving under his play calling? He wants to stay. He wants
really.
To stay.
Not really. I'm not. I think his best chance of staying would have been if you hire DJ Durkin, which seems like a long shot at this point. I just don't think he's had enough. I'm pretty sure he's well respected in the coaching ranks, but as a play caller, I don't think he's at the top of any new head coach's list outside of Derek Nix. Outside of DJ Durkin. I'm impressed with what he's done in 2 games, but again, it's a very small sample size of what we've seen of Derek Nix. I'll be curious to see what he looks like in the Iron Bowl. I think he'll be just as impressive. But again, if you're competing against people who've been doing it for years, he's not going to jump out on anyone's list or the top of anyone's list like other candidates probably would. So I'm not shocked.
I want to address this because it's popped up a few times. Mike, you've talked about it a couple of times, and I just want to talk about this. This is going to feel like I'm trying to say something specifically about you, and I'm not, Chess, promise you. I'm addressing the idea that Mike has already kind of debunked, that Auburn is trying to force coordinators on a head coach. Let me just kind of take you guys back, right, to John Cohen's hire of Hugh Freeze. In every head coaching search, and Mike eloquently laid this out for you guys, I think yesterday, the coach comes in, and it might have been when you were talking with Dukes, and Dukes might have said this. A coach will come in and tell you, these are the guys I'm thinking about. if I get the head coaching job, these are the guys that I would want to hire to be on my staff. This is the offensive coordinator I'd want to bring in. This is the DC I'd want to bring in. This is who they lay out like it's basically they pull out their Rolodex and say, these are the guys I have connections with, and these are the guys I think I could take a swing at and possibly land. When Coach Hugh Freeze got hired, he did the exact same thing. And you go back and you look at all the coaches that have coached with him before, and he's like, yeah, I think I can get this guy, and this is who I'd be targeting for this. And because Coach Freeze has been coaching at the P4 level before, and because he's been in the SEC, et cetera, I think John Cohen was like, great, let's roll with that. And then when he got in the job and he started reaching out to people, people were like, nah, I think I'm good. So that big long list of people who you said you could go get, you couldn't go get any of them. You couldn't close any of them. And so he ended up getting his third, fourth, fifth choice in some of these situations. And John Cohen learned his lesson from that coaching search. And he said, all right, give me your list. Let's go pre-vet the list now. Not just you as a head coach. Can we actually go get these guys if you get the job? Because here's the thing. If I bring you in as a coach and we can't go get these guys, it's not the package I signed up for.
Yeah.
I signed up for the coach and the staff because the staff is what's going to develop all of the talent that we still have on this roster. You said you wanted to come here for Auburn's atmosphere. That's not going anywhere. You wanted to come here for the bigger paycheck. That's not going anywhere. You wanted to come here for a lot of these players. Some of that's going to be dependent upon who we can keep on board with the staff. Would you be on board with this XYZ? It's not a singular decision. And I have to remind people again, it's not just about who you want. It's about who wants you. There are a lot of great coaches out there, but not all of them can just get a blank slate and turn it around and turn it into a winning program when you're already, to borrow a phrase from Coach Hugh Freeze, really close to being one right now. We just need somebody that's going to take us over the edge, not reset it and hope we get back there after we wipe the slate clean. That's not what they're looking for. They're looking for somebody that takes you from close losses to close wins and dominant victories within a 2 to 3 year time span, because the timetable is very different right now. So when they're vetting coaching candidates, it's not just about who I think is the best coach, go swing at them. Some of those guys don't want to come here. Just to put it, they're fine where they are. Not because Auburn's not a good program, not because Auburn can't pay them the money they want to. They're in a situation they like. You just talked about the situation with Scott Frost, and he was like, man, when you're making the climb, stop when you get happy.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't always about, man, well, we can pay him if we want to. It ain't. That's not it. That's not everybody. I know a lot of people's motivation is money. It's not everybody's motivation. It's not about whether or not Auburn can afford them. It's not even about whether or not Auburn has a good roster. They got good rosters where they are. They got great situations where they are. Their families are happy. Sometimes there's other stuff involved. And I think sometimes we forget that it's not just about who I can pay. It's who wants the job. And of those people, who is the best person for this situation? And then you got to start looking at all the other stuff. John Cohen's actually doing this really, really smart. Like, I know it feels like we out here slurping John Cohen right now, bro. I'm just going to keep it a bucket what I feel like he's doing a good job with. I think he's doing it in a really smart way. He learned the lessons from the last time. I'm not just taking it on your word who you think you can hire. Let me go see if that dude actually would take the job if you offered it to him. That's not crazy. It's actually smart. Before I hire you, do I get all the bad bees that you said was pulling up with you to come to the club? I'm not giving you a section in the club unless I'm sure the bad bees is coming too, bro.
That's funny.
No, you can't have a table with a table full of dudes. No, I want the bad bees.
That's funny as hell. I have a story.
Oh, here we go.
It's completely out of left field because Ike said that. One time, y'all, for those of you that remember King Dunlap, he was former offensive lineman here, played in the league for 9 years. Most of his career with Philadelphia, but he finished his career with the Chargers. One time, again, a lot of people don't know this stuff. Like, I lived in Phoenix for almost 9 years, and San Diego was just a 5-hour drive. So at the time, it was my longest relationship. We had just broken up. And King calls, and he's like, "What you doing, bro?" I was like, "Oh, me and man just broke up." And he was like, "Oh, man, you just need some family, man. Come on out to San Diego." So I was like, "All right, bet." So I get my buddy Marcus, and we got to San Diego. There's a club in downtown San Diego called the Park Nightclub. It's in the Gas Lamp District, if you're familiar with San Diego. And you gotta remember, King's 6'9", 350. So everybody, like, you can't be that big and not do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's everybody knows him. So we pull up the park, and him and Antonio Gates have the whole club, like half the club, I'm sorry, bought out. So we get to our table, and I swear the bouncer comes in, looks at our table, sees the four of us. It was me, King, Marcus, and this other dude he knew, and said, "Y'all don't have no bad bitches in here. I'm gonna go get some bad bitches." And my buddy Marcus looks at, he says, "Sir, I have a question." He goes, "How does one simply just acquire some bad bitches?" I fell over in my chair laughing. And I swear to God, this dude went outside, came back with 6 dimes. And was just like, right here, right? So we start. I don't drink, guys. You guys have to know this. I don't drink alcohol anymore. Like, I pretty much quit. I really wasn't a big alcohol guy ever. But like in college, I did my binging just like everybody else did in college. But after college, after I got a real job, I was like, you can't be real successful and drink all the time. Anyway, this was one of those nights where we were going to get drunk.
Don't, please. Please.
I could have taken that joke 50 places. Go.
There was one place I hope you would not go. Go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I'm good. Keep rolling, brother. Keep rolling.
They start bringing the bottles to the table, and King looks at me and he says, "Mike, it was like a handle of Grey Goose." And he says, "Mike, that's your bottle." I was like, "What do you mean that's my bottle? What do you mean?" He said, "We don't share bottles." I was like, "King, like, this is rich people stuff, right? Like, what do you mean we don't share bottles? I'm not going to drink a whole handle of Grey Goose. Like, I won't even know where I'm at, right?" So anyway, I'm telling way more of the story than I planned on telling. Anyway, the bouncer's like, "Y'all hungry?" Because they got food in the club, but they went out and they sent the bad bees across the street to go get us hot wings, and they just did it. And I was like, "Yo, they just gonna do that?" And they were like, "Yeah, that's what we do here." So after it's all over, King was like, "We're going to D's house. He got more bad bees and barbecue." And I don't know who D is. I'm like, whatever, man. I'm drunk. I haven't been this drunk in a long time, so I'm just going with the flow. The Chargers had this special thing set up, fellas, like with Uber. So they gave them an Uber allowance to deter guys from driving drunk. They was like, when you call this number, an Uber XL Escalade was showing up every single time, because these are big dudes, so they ain't fitting no Honda Civic, right? So he calls our Uber XL. We get to this place in downtown San Diego. It's a building, and when you walk through the building, it looked like it was under construction, but it was, I swear, guys, a glass door. We walk into the lobby, and there was a single door there. A girl walks out from the door, and she says, "Right this way." And I was like, "Where are we? Like, I'm drunk. I don't know what's going on." We walk through the door, and there's an elevator. The elevator takes us to the top, and we get out, and it looks like the floor is under construction, but there's this big wooden door that looks like something out of like a Disney movie. The door was so big. I was like, how does anybody open this door? This door was massive wood door. We open the door, it opens up into this $5 million loft. And I walk in, and it was exactly what he said it was going to be. It was his boy D, a bunch of bad bees, and barbecue on the table. So we walk in, and I am
triple B's,
fellas. I am introduced. Yeah. I'm introducing myself. I'm like, "Hi, I'm Michael. Hi, I'm Michael. I'm Michael." Right? And this dude looks me in the eye and says, "I'm Dwight." And I was like, "Dwight Freeney. This is Dwight Freeney's place." At the time, he was the second highest paid player in the NFL, defensive player in the NFL, I think, or the highest paid defensive player. Anyway, Keenan Allen shows up with more bad bees, and like, we're just having the best time. And we get back to King's Place after this whole night is over. And he looks at me and he says, y'all have a good time tonight? And Marcus was like, I've literally never been anywhere where they rolled out the red carpet for us every single place we went. That was nuts. And women just appeared magically everywhere we went.
This is actually the story of the Wizard of Oz, ladies and gentlemen. It's just a different version.
I was
the Negro version.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, what is going on? What is my night tonight? That was probably the last time I got drunk. That was 2015.
That's a good.
I thought that was a good one to go out on. That was the last time I got drunk, and I remember surprisingly a lot of that night. But when Ike said that, I just thought, like, man, there is a place in real life where that is true. If you show up without bad bees, you ain't getting in at all.
I'm telling you, it's a real thing, man. If the club is nice enough, they will definitely start saying that they start counting, and they're like, "You got too many dudes in your group." Nope.
Yep,
let me get these women in here. It's too many dudes in this group. Nope. Mm-hmm. They will 100% do that, bro.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know how any of that relates to football, but I just
but it was a great story. They appreciate it.
Get out of here. Look, we're gonna get to some comments. We've been on almost 90 minutes before we get out of here. So y'all got a little story time. The side I gave was like That's funny. Dustin Pace says, this is going to be the longest week of my life. Auburn sees a coaching staff in the same year produce with the same ingredients and get someone else.
How much drama y'all think we expect this week, man? This seems like it's going to be a drama-filled week.
It is. I'm here for it.
With what's going on with all the other teams in the SEC, it seems like this is going to be some drama and some rumors thrown all over the place.
I'm here for it.
Buckle up.
He said, Mike, that night, we're not in Kansas anymore. We were not in Kansas. I love San Diego. It's one of my favorite places on the earth. Stuart Donald says the game plan against Texas A&M should have been the end of the line for Hugh. If he had dropped the hammer, then we may be playing for a playoff spot Saturday.
I mean, listen, we can speculate the what ifs, maybe. I don't know. All I know is it's looked different. And if it looks different with a dub this coming Saturday, my brother in Christ.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What were we doing?
What were we doing?
We were already asking that question.
I'm saying, but like, okay, again, the first game versus Vandy, they didn't expect it, whatever, came out of left field. This game versus Mercer, it's just Mercer. Bama will have had 2 weeks of film on what this offense looked like. They got a whole game on Ashton Daniels to see what it looks like with him. If you've got film on the coach and the player versus a playoff team and you get a dub, now I got for real questions. Like I can excuse the first two, right? You didn't even win the first game, right? But the defense, okay, it was a different situation for the head coach being both up, right? We got to work through I can find my way logically there. If Auburn wins the Iron Bowl, I don't have no other logic other than, bro, you was sandbagging. What are we doing? There isn't a logical place where I can explain it away anymore. And I have shot you all. My bail fund is depleted at that point in time. I don't got no more bail to shoot you, bro.
Yeah,
I do. I just won't. I stopped. I stopped after A&M. So
yeah. Lauren says the story relates to what comes with the coaching staff. Again, are you bringing some bad bees with you? Forever Bankroll says, I seen Deuce at the Sky with 4 BBs after we lost to Georgia. I can't imagine what he did yesterday.
Yeah. Listen,
who put
the bad bee theory into effect? Vanderbilt. They didn't just go out and hire the coach as an offensive coordinator. He was like, so you got a little Diego Pavia you could bring with you?
There you go.
Listen, that is what Oklahoma. They didn't just go out and get a new OC. It was like, you gonna slide that QB down here with you too?
Yeah.
Because if so, we got a job for you.
Yeah, we need a championship run QB. Yeah, so you're bringing one.
Like, bro, this is not a new thing. It sounds crazy when Auburn does it, but like, bro, this is how this works. Yeah. You're not coming empty-handed, are you? This is a potluck. You got to bring something to the table, brother.
I don't know if Buster Faulkner is bringing any bad bees with him though from Georgia Tech.
He's the bad bee.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bad Buster. Okay. I like that.
Buster is the baddie in this situation.
Yeah.
The head coach is the dude who's
the head coach is bringing. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. He's like,
for sure.
If you're not bringing Buster with you, I don't know that this gonna work out.
Because we good on Haynes King. I mean, like we with what we got, like Haynes King, but I'm just saying. With Buster Dukes did a video where he talked about him and it had me. He's been critical to what Brent Key is doing at Georgia Tech offensively.
Yeah. Devin says, which of y'all are going to be at the Iron Bowl? Do y'all do any kind of tailgate for the War Report, any kind of meetup? Yeah, a few years ago, we did a Georgia tailgate. I can tell you it was massively expensive. We had a big tent.
It was great.
Catered, yeah, like right there behind the outfield, the right field of the baseball stadium. It was prime location and it was fun. But we will be in the booth for this one. So like we'll be going to tailgates. We won't be hosting a tailgate. But one day, maybe next year, I don't know. Maybe we'll host a tailgate next year. Georgia and Alabama are on the road next year. So we'd have to figure out what game that would be. But if enough of y'all sign up for these memberships, maybe. Because I can tell you right now, if you've never like done a tailgate in that area, like the tent is like 3 G's. That's the tent. Yeah, you ain't sat down yet. Yeah, I had anything to drink. I think that's it. I think that's on it for comments. Again, we've been going for about 90 minutes here, so we're going to let you guys go. We appreciate everyone for joining today's live cast. If you're watching this on Twitter, do us a favor, head on over to YouTube and subscribe to the channel, maybe become a patron, but make sure you subscribe because lots of memberships get given away. And if you are already subscribed, you could get a free membership. Now, it's only a month. And you have to decide to renew it after that. But certainly, if you like free stuff, head on over to YouTube and subscribe to the channel. We have, I think, close to 800 people watching on other social media platforms right now, which is insane. So please head on over to the channel, support what we're doing here. Guys, we're going to go on and get out of here. You guys know the deal. As I mentioned, signed up as a patron. $5.99 a month will get you there. We appreciate our Green Name Gang for helping us grow our Green Name Gang with everybody who gifted a membership today. Still not too late to hit that gifted membership button between now and the end of the live cast. Make sure somebody else gets the gift of the War Report. I want to thank our title sponsor, Golden's Cast Iron. Visit goldenscastiron.com/WR. Use code Get Your Weight Up for 15% off your weights and code TWR for $65 off fire pits and Kamado grills. Workout, grill out, chill out with Golden's Cast Iron. Do us a favor, head on over to your favorite podcast platform and hit subscribe, turn on downloads, and help us climb the podcast charts. And if you feel like a little extra effort, leave a review and rank that thing up to 5 stars, man. It really helps us a lot over there. The more they push our podcast out, the more profitable our show becomes and the more content we can bring you guys. So we appreciate you guys for sponsoring not just the Auburn Express, but all of the podcast platforms on the War Report Network. We appreciate you guys for that. Guys, do us a favor. You know the deal. Go to social media, share this video at the War Report, hashtag Get Your Weight Up. It's out there for you guys on Twitter right now. If you're watching on Twitter, it's on Facebook, it's on YouTube, but we love when you guys come over to YouTube. Hit like and subscribe on the video, helps us in the algorithm. Follow us on social media, X and Instagram, TW Report on TikTok. We're going to go on and get out of here, but we'll be back at you guys tomorrow morning with the Auburn Express. We're signing off, and as always, War Eagle.